What's hip hop happening?
Hi. Happy Monday.
Woohoo.
Yeah, we're back with a brand new episode. We've been off for the last couple of weeks because we've had stuff and things. We're planning a massive trip to Europe, so we've been doing some things. But I'm back. You're back. And this is my week for our weird history episode. And I really hope you've heard of this one simply because I never have, and I have a lot of questions that I don't have answers to.
All right. I'm happy to help.
Okay, good. All right, so my sources for this episode is allthat'sinteresting.com, and I'm going to be telling you, Laura, and dear listener, about the numbers stations. Have you heard of these?
Mm-mm.
No? Damn it. Pretend you have. Okay.
All right, yes. Oh my God.
I'm fascinated, utterly. I know, you are.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So at the height of the Cold War, when radio was still a top medium for disseminating news and information, many listeners accidentally stumbled into some rather unnerving programming. These creepy broadcasts would typically begin with a strange melody or several beeps, and were followed by the voice of a woman or a child reciting seemingly random numbers. I've never heard of this. And the minute I read that first paragraph, I was like, I gotta know more because this is gross.
It sounds like spy shit.
A little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these transmissions played routinely and lasted for several minutes on frequencies that listeners dubbed numbers stations. So the discovery of these strange numbers stations quickly gained attention among those who were unfortunate to find themselves listening to these mysterious broadcasts. If you guys hear numbers in this episode, let me know because we're not doing it. The phenomenon also spawned a fringe group of radio listeners dedicated to solving the mystery of who was sending these broadcasts and why. That's it. That's all I got.
That's it?
No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, what?
You're like, why?
Well, tell me what's happening.
You're like, you weren't joking. This is a short one. So each number station they discovered was given a name depending on the nature of its broadcast. So, for example, some of the most well-known number stations were Nancy Adams Susan, the Gong Station, and the Lincolnshire Poacher.
Ooh.
Don't know. I know, right? I'm like, oh, that sounds fascinating. They were all uniquely bizarre in their own way, spurring a number of creepy stories about who could possibly be behind them. It wasn't until the 1980s that amateur sleuths tracking these number stations hypothesized that the mysterious broadcasts were actually coded messages used in espionage operations across the globe. So the idea has been supported by figures like Rupert Allison, who was an author who specializes in espionage and writes under the pen name Nigel West. So nobody has found a more convenient and expedient way of communicating with an agent, Allison said. Their sole purpose for intelligence agencies is to communicate with their agents in denied areas, a territory where it is difficult to use a consensual form of communications. Remarkably, these short waves of alleged coded messages can still be found on the radio today, so long as one is diligent enough to search for them. So, espionage tactics may seem like the most plausible explanation for these ghostly signals, but the true intent of some of these number stations have never been cracked. One station, known as the Buzzer, has been sending out mysterious broadcasts since the Cold War. It features two buzzes at the top of every hour, followed by a monotonous drone between every 21st and 34th minute during daylight hours. What?
That's weird.
A voice follows, reading a string of numbers, words, or Russian names like Anna, Nikolai, Ivan, Tatiana, and Roman. It was initially believed that the broadcast was set up by Soviet authorities. But after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the strange radio broadcasts only became more active. To this day, nobody knows who started it, what it's about, or why it continues. The true scary story of the number stations continues on.
That's it's fascinating. I swear I feel like I saw something like that on The
feel-
Americans.
Oh,
TV
really?
show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know I've seen it in some other spy stuff. Because as you know, I'm
You're a
fascinated
spy.
with all
Yeah.
things spy things.
Right. You're working for the CIA. We know. Go on.
I wish.
You went to the Spy Museum in D.C. Okay, it's fine. I mean, same
I
thing.
haven't, but I really want to go.
God.
But yeah, I'm sure that this is some of it. I'm sure they have ciphers and stuff like that that they use to like do this, especially like back. I mean, now you have electronic communication, so if they're still going, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. To this
like
day.
shortwave radio ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Super
But
weird.
that's super cool. I mean, and now actually would be the best time to use something like analog like that because nobody would almost be looking for it,
Well, exactly.
as much.
Or they're looking for exactly that. So it kind of makes me think a little bit about Ron's new methodology in paranormal investigation, the direct radio voice. So I kind of want to talk to him about this when we have him on the show, because think about when we did that with him in Gettysburg, just scanning random radio frequencies just really, really quickly. Like, granted, his methodology is vastly different, and it's kind of sounds like a crowd of voices is trying to come through. But with the spirit box, like, what if you're tapping into one of these number stations and that a woman or a child's voice? I can think of nothing more fucked up, frankly.
Yeah, more freaky, right?
Right?
Yeah, but I think I read somewhere that they were like a lot of them. I think are short, like ham operator kind of stuff. Like people.
Oh,
mostly people, I
really?
think, that found
Like
them.
a CB type of thing?
There are people who broadcast from their house the ham radio stuff, and they like have big towers in their yards and stuff.
Okay.
It's a whole thing, and they could be. I mean, it could be being done by those people. It could be just like people fucking with.
I mean,
or something that just got left on. I mean, that seems super fucking weird, but
doesn't it? Like, I mean, the Cold War was decades ago. Why is this still going on? And I have so many questions. Right? I have so many questions. No goddamn answers. It's like watching Lost. I mean,
that shit was infuriating.
Right? Right? Like, I don't know. I just the idea of it being like a woman and a child just randomly like spitting out numbers or Russian names. I feel like that was a red herring.
Yeah.
So that,
probably.
to make people think that it was like Russia, but really it was probably like, I don't know, some crazy kids at a pub in London enjoying a Sunday roast.
Is back in the day they used to use radio to help guide pilots.
Sure. Yeah.
So it could be something like that. I mean, obviously not all of them because they would have figured out what they were for.
Sure.
But
right.
That's. I mean, those are the kind of things I can think of that they would have been using that for.
Yeah, I can't.
And I say this like I know anything about that, but I don't. I just
You're like, I'm just spitballing here, but anyway. So that's really, guys, that's really all I have for this week's episode, these number stations. If you are aware of them, if you have found them, if you have a little more information, let us know. We'll absolutely share it. But I came across this article and I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. So then, of course, I had to seize on it. So, that's all I got for this week, guys. It is Monday, September 19th, and we certainly hope that you're going to have a great week or a bad week if you feel like you're going to have one. I mean, just have the week you'll have. Laura, let them know where they can find us.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HOAH Podcast, and on TikTok at HOAH Podcast, and HOAH Carrie, and HOAH co-host Laura.
All right. That's it. That's all we got. We will see you next Monday with a brand new location. Laura is going to try to top my creepy, weird, unexplainable story with one of her own. And is it good? Have you done it? Have you picked it?
Of course. Mine are always great.
They are, and I fucking hate you because it's like, oh, great, now I have to pick a really good one.
I'm totally into this now. Now I want to know what these things are. So...
her story's gonna be a follow-up on mine. She's gonna crack this case.
Part 2.
Part 2. Laura's fucking on it.
Part 2.
We're gonna be in France soon, so you'll probably hear a lot of that. Anyway, guys, we love you. Thank you so much. Like I said, have the week you'll have. We will see you on Saturday with a brand new episode. Bye. Bye.